This is Duke University.
Meet Pooja and Rachel. Pooja lives in Kolkata, India, and attends the Marigold School, a low-income urban elementary school. Rachel, on the other hand, lives in Durham, North Carolina, and attends Bull City Elementary. They're working on the same project at the same time, together. Welcome to the work of STEM Pals.
STEM Pals is an innovation that allows for students and teachers around the world to collaborate on STEM-like projects. And it also is a database for teachers to upload their own ideas for teaching methods in the classroom. But why do we need STEM Pals? And what's its use in the US and in India? Well, both of these countries have been shown to be very ineffective in STEM teaching. In India, rote memorization is a common method of teaching because teachers are undertrained and they lack the resources to have creative lesson plans. So these kids, they're not learning critical thinking skills. They're going home to their parents and they have nothing to show for what they're doing in school. So when the parents have this harsh decision of whether to keep their kids in school or to have them do domestic work or get a job, the parents don't see the value of education and take them out, which is why over half of students in primary schools drop out in India. In the US, there's some different circumstances. We have very highly trained teachers, and we have abundant resources. And yet, we're still ranked lower than India on math and science tests because we're lacking the innovation needed to inspire our students to go into STEM fields. So how do we fix this problem? How do we get kids excited to learn STEM fields?
So in order to solve this, we propose a three-prong or three-seed solution. And this starts with community involvement, because we understand that projects like these don't exist in a vacuum. And a hallmark of this is developing a problem-based solving curriculum with identifying local community stakeholders and then working with teachers to train them to work through this curriculum and solve these problems. Because part of the problem is that teachers don't really understand how to teach problem-based solving in a method that is not rote memorization. So one way we're going to accomplish this is through kits. And these kits are very simple materials put together to help the Poojas and Rachels of the world solve problems. They are optimized for low resource settings, and they're just very simple, and they encourage kids to get into this habit of higher order thinking. But let me show you what I mean by this.
What we do is a very simple electric motor. Now this is the simplest motor on earth. The most expensive thing is the battery inside this. If you have a battery, it costs 5 cents to make it. This is the old bicycle tube which gives you a broad rubber band, 2 safety pins. This is a permanent magnet. Whenever current flows through a coil, this becomes an electromagnet. It's the interaction of both these magnets which makes this motor spin. With 30,000 teachers who've been teaching science for donkey years, they just mug up the definition and they spit it out. But when teachers make it, children make it, you can see a gleam in their eye. They get the thrill of what science is all about.
So these kits really encourage authentic learning. And because we've done a needs assessment, we can find out the types of problems that kids in this community want to solve, in the Marigold community. Things like water filtration or getting electricity. And these kits, they aren't cookbooks. We're not asking them to follow a set recipe. We give kids enough latitude and freedom to explore and learn while having teachers have a very rigorous curriculum that can then help them hone in on these STEM skills.
The third component of our intervention is a Pinterest-like online web platform that transforms these kits into a global learning project. The way this works is that teachers and students go on STEM Pals, and they post videos and photos of them using these kits, grappling with these issues, posting curriculum ideas and their struggles and blurbs, and they learn from each other. The way this works is that one school in the United States is paired with a school in India, almost like a pen pal. And basically the idea behind this is to create a global community of STEM learners.
So what do we think our outcomes are going to be here? Well, we don't really know. That's the really great part about this. but we have a way of evaluating it in instant data, real-time data, and be able to figure out whether or not we're actually having a tangible impact in these students' lives. One of the first things that we really have a great skill of doing is figuring out whether or not, when we implement these programs in low-income schools, we are actually teaching these skills and authentic learning to these children, and whether or not they find the value in it, that they are finding these skills that they can take back to their families and show them, look, I'm learning something useful in school. I can help our family by being in school because I'm learning something that's going to help me in the future. It's going to help our community. The second thing is it relates specifically to teachers. We're providing them with the training and resources that they need to make an impact in their students' lives through the rest of their careers. They don't need us after we train them. They have the ability to come up with these curricula, use this web platform to share it, and show how well they have been able to manage a classroom of 50 or 60 students and help them to realize the value of STEM education. And the last thing I think that this website really provides is this cross-cultural integration, this relationship aspect, that you're making friends between students, between teachers across the globe. It has limitless potential to expand to other countries. It has the ability to find the most innovative solutions and extend them and bring them to other places. So in the future, we see ourselves expanding originally through a grassroots approach. We can teach one teacher at one school, have them go back and show those models, those ideas of how to make curricula to their fellow teachers. Peers work well. We like learning from each other. We know that as adults. So I think that's one of the best ways that we'll be able to grow this project. The second thing is we want to see, well, if this does work, let's go find the lowest income, the lowest performing schools, and let's put it there. Let's see if we can make kids learn STEM education in the worst situations. And the last thing is we have the ability, by listening and by providing this platform to teachers to upload their curricula, that we can find the ones that work best, find the ones that solve the solutions and provide the problems that those kids see in their daily lives. And that's a really amazing thing.
So what makes STEM Pals innovative? We are basically combining a bunch of efforts that have been effective in many other ways. Project-based learning, collaborative events where teachers learn from each other. These have all been extremely effective in both the US and India. But the main thing that's innovative about ours is that we're allowing these kids to connect with students around the globe. When talking to Durham public school students, they said they would love to have a pen pal around the world. Most of them have never left the country, let alone the state. This adds cultural diversity and adds endless value to their lives.
So, think about this. Are you a Pooja? Do you know a Rachel? Imagine a world without STEM pals. Rachel or Pooja may have become frustrated in their own scientific endeavors and maybe stopped. Or worse, maybe they never even became friends. Through STEM pals, we believe that students all around the globe can realize the humanity in a STEM career. Thank you.
First question, how is the curriculum developed? Is it co-developed between the two schools, or is it only developed around the issues that the Indian school has identified?
So one of the ways, the original curricula, we really want to work with educators in both the US and sort of researchers that understand some of these concepts really well to develop these original curricula, the kinds that we can train teachers with. But I think what the key is, we want to empower teachers to come up with ones in their own communities that fit the students that they work with. So really we want to create an idea and a model for how they could do that and continue to replicate it in the future. So those first ones are going to have a lot of good research behind them.
Another quick question. What is the feasibility of the school, the Marigold School, to actually roll this out with the technology, either through internet, videos, the whole 9 yards?
Yes, we talked a lot about how we would go into these communities and teach them how to use these new materials. So we were thinking that we could use professionals in the field to come in and teach the teachers, and then they would teach the other teachers, because we don't want to infiltrate the system. And the incentive for them to continue to use this website is that if they continuously post these videos and photos, we will in turn send them school supplies and other things they need.
I guess the likelihood that they would have internet and computers.
Yeah. We're targeting urban schools, so we want to use schools that would already have the capability to have a long-lasting computer connection.
Specifically, this Marigold School in the case study has a computer with internet connection, and so we're basing it off that model. Thank you.
What's your biggest expense to get this project started?
It would probably be curriculum development.
And then on the site, how will you be regulating content? So let's say you're a huge hit and you get, 500 500 lesson plans for one project? How will you show who the best is?
Well, I think we had a system for like developing likes and dislikes, or not like dislikes but likes, so someone would be able to say like, because you don't dislike education, that's true. But a system sort of upvote so a teacher can see it and try it out and then find out. Thank you.
Produced by Duke University. Online at duke.edu.